Hello, and welcome to Artificial Realities, the 12th edition of the East Wing Biennial. East Wing was founded in 1991 by then student Joshua Compston in a bid to resolve the bare walls and bring art into this space, make it living and breathing for the students. Now, it's 2016 and we're in the 25th year. I'm Poppy Field, co-head of exhibition with Rebecca Anthony, and we've created a series of videos that will allow you, wherever you are, to see this unconventional space. At the opening of the Courtauld, just as it's at its threshold, we have two works by Edmond de Waal. They're in vitrines, high up, within sight but out of reach. They have come directly from the Royal Academy of Arts, just 20 minutes walk away in Piccadilly. Here, in this very particular institution to do with objects and collecting and reading and writing, de Waal hoped that they would embody Freud's own notions that objects represent dreams and hopes and ambitions and fears, put together with his own passion for collecting, as epitomized in his book, The Hare with Amber Eyes. The objects are the perfect start to this exhibition, which requires our public to evaluate their own unique perception of reality. Between this one and the second, we have a sculpture by Gabrielle Curie. It's called Red and Black with Can. Again, it's playing upon our preconceived notions, this time of materiality. You can see these two slabs of marble are natural objects, but between them is an artificial Coke can. And initially looking at it, you might think that this contrast creates a tension between the world and what we do to it. But in fact, upon closer inspection, you see that these marble slabs are man-made. They've been cut to size, they're geometric, they're artificial curves. And perhaps what we perceive as natural today isn't so natural after all. We've placed this here because if you look around us, there are 4 sculptures, and perhaps to the untrained eye, you might think they were even classical sculptures. In fact, they're much later casts, and they've been painted to look like marble. So on the one hand, you have something which you think is marble, and it's not, and you think it's old, so it must be, and something new and false. After such a playful juxtaposition, our viewers will be ready to enter the exhibition in earnest and see the playful work of Marco Maggi. This is the first of our series of installations created here in the Courtauld to ensure an exploratory atmosphere. The artist is Marco Maggi, and he came all the way from New York and worked every day for 10 days, dawn until dusk, on this. I first saw his work in Venice. It was in the Uruguay Pavilion at the Venice Biennale. It was unlike the other pavilions. I was there for about 3 or 4 hours. I had one afternoon to scout for artists for this exhibition, and I was running. I was a headless chicken. But when I got to the Uruguay Pavilion, there was this amazing sense of calm. Everyone was pressed up against the wall, and I couldn't see at what. It was bright white, yet everyone's attention was there. So of course I stopped, and I came closer, and I looked. And this is what I saw. I saw tiny pieces of paper arranged in an architectural setting, and it felt like I was flying. I'd been reading Italo Calvino's book about Venice, about invisible cities, and I felt that I had stumbled into one of them. And I couldn't think of any work that better epitomized this exhibition, Artificial Realities. And it was amazing. We contacted Marco, and then he was here. This is an unusual place for Marco to exhibit. You can see the walls are pink, and he started to use black. This work is called Language Ascending a Staircase, and he's responded to the setting. In using colour, he's had to redesign his shapes, and as every piece goes, then the next one comes. Marco says that ideas should have expiry dates, and as such, it's the space that dictates the layout. You could see that there was scaffolding earlier on in this video. There are building works here, and Marco, rather than being put off, saw this as an opportunity. He moved his work from the back staircase and came here, because this window is typical of the Courtauld, a window with no glass, no view. We have doors that lead to nowhere. And he thought that this, with the scaffolding, could be something wonderful. There are these tiny white marks, and he intended it to seem like a pot of paint had slipped, or a workman had thrown his brush and made these marks. and that would be the hook. That would draw viewers. They would see this, they would see that and go, oh no, and go closer to look, and that's when they would be enraptured, and they'd follow this work all the way up the staircase. That there is still a wall standing strong has particular resonance in this room for the theory of Aldo Rossi. Rossi believed the collective memory of a community was distilled in its architecture, that when architecture was manipulated or destroyed, so was the memory that lived there. So I think in this image that's particularly poignant, because although so many lives were lost, so many communities destroyed, the wall standing strong suggests that we don't forget. And in this room, where we have not only this, the Indian Ocean tsunami, but we have works relating to the Chilean earthquake, Johannesburg gold mining, and the ongoing migrant crisis, we know that these are events in our public consciousness. Here are 3 of 6 sculptures on display in this room by the Chilean artist Ignacio Valdez. They are a direct response to the 2010 Chilean earthquake. It destroyed his home, and from its fragments he took these pieces, molded them together in what can be seen as a metaphor of the nation's own reconstruction. But such reconstruction isn't always possible. Some crises are ongoing, such as that of the mass movement of people. These 4 photographs, but in particular these bottom 2 photographs by Leon Krihe, are of Rome. They were taken last summer, and they document tiny sleeping figures, but you don't notice them at first. You're struck by their beauty, by these landmarks, San Pietro and Termini. On closer inspection, however, there are people sleeping, and what Leon hopes is that in this beauty you see humanity, and you realize that we're all just people, we're all just there, and we can help. So, without getting too political, Leon has very kindly given these 2 works to be silent auctioned, and all the proceeds to go to refugee charities.